Ladies and gentlemen, I am Melvin Banks.
This is Ito.
And we are the Carbonation Conversation. Reviewing today The Witcher Episode 7. I think I'm going to butcher this again. Is it Valor? No. Yeah. What is it?
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us. But before we get started, shout out to Mo, as always. What you hear in the background as far as audio editing and music production, it is always Mo Beats. And you can also find him on Instagram at Mo Beats.
Mo Beats.
Thank you for joining us once again as we are reviewing The Witcher Episode 7 review. And before we get started, we want to tell you that we are drinking, if I can pronounce even this,
Zyweek,
Poland's #1 premium beer. So definitely shout out to Poland and Zyweek. Happy
new beer.
Okay.
Pretty smooth.
Yeah, pretty good. I'm not saying anything bad about this. This is actually, yeah, like you said, pretty smooth, pretty good. All right. Now, one more time, I guess. Happy New Year. I want to taste it again.
All right, and don't forget the shout out.
Yes. Shout out to Illinois, as always. Shout out to Arkansas. Shout out to Russia, Florida, and all of that good stuff. Shout out.
Thanks for listening.
So, episode 7 review of The Witcher. I would like to, if that's cool with Ito, start off with the Sintra story. I remember you were telling me last episode, you were just like, dude, let's just review the last 2 episodes because I feel like episode 7 was probably the best episode of the season.
Yeah, it was.
And I got
it went pretty hard.
It went hard. And I definitely want to talk about, like, I was shocked at some things that happened this shit. I was just like, damn, this is kind of red-headed a little bit and shit. So
yeah, it went hard.
We're going to start off with the guards in Sintra being pretty pissed off because this is a couple of days or maybe a day. I don't know if it's like directly a day after Francesca's had the baby.
It was. It was the day after. Because she tried to make the excuse for them. Well, they were up celebrating the birth of the baby.
And the head general, he don't like Frangilla.
He's been a dick for, a few episodes already, especially to Frangilla. He doesn't like that the elves are there.
Nope, he doesn't like any of that. So
he keeps them, telling Kahir, you need to take over. You need to show them who's in charge, type of thing.
And to make matters worse, the elves didn't show up for like the train. Half of them didn't show up.
And that's why she made that excuse for him.
And so Kahir is basically talking to Frangilla, and he's a dick, you know what I'm saying? I really had hopes for him, to do a good turnaround, but he's talking to Frangilla, and he's basically like, hey, if you can't handle the elves, let me deal with them next time. You know what I'm saying? That way, when King Amir gets here, we'll all be good. We just need to get our story. We just need to be on the same page type of shit.
Yeah, because she was already kind of nervous and tripping that the White Flame was coming. Mm-hmm. And then now this with the elves, it makes her even look weaker.
Yeah.
So that's what, you want to continue with that? Where she goes talk to them?
Yeah, she goes to talk to Francesca and Felavendrio.
Right.
And this is what really kind of pissed me off, I will say. You know what I'm saying? I have to ask you personally, have you ever planned to do something and you planned it perfectly, like, I'm going to do it this way, and then I'm going to follow the next steps as I plan this whole thing out. And then the first thing of your plan happens, and then you go to plan, you go to step 4 instead of following step 2 and 3. I really felt like Francesca and Felevandro dropped the fucking ball.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? They had the baby, and what's so crazy to me is the Deathless Mother, which her name is actually the episode of the series. We're gonna get that later. I forget how to fucking pronounce it. It's just hard to pronounce, but
yeah, it's Volithmir.
Yeah, Volithmir. That's the name of the episode. Yeah. And she tells Francesca, she's like, the only way your baby gonna survive if you're around humans. So after they had the baby, they had one good night. All of a sudden, they don't want to fight no more.
Exactly.
And Frangilla is like, do you know what the fuck is going on the continent right now? Like, y'all can't go nowhere else.
Yeah, she reminds Francesca of the deal in the hut. You know what I mean?
Like, what the fuck are you talking about here?
Exactly.
And I'm like, I'm the same way with Frangilla. You know, at least at this moment, I'm on her side. I'm just like, hey, like, I understand that it's all about your people, and now that you had birth, you think you could probably have multiple. Everybody can have babies now, but where the fuck are you gonna go and do this at?
Family is more important.
Yeah.
And that was basically her response.
Exactly, and that does sting Frangilla.
Yeah.
But what it also makes her do, because she says blood is blood, like you said, family is everything. It makes her go back to her uncle and Aretusa.
Yes.
And he basically, you know, she's trying to basically be like, hey, the elves won't fight for us. And then they realize, hey, that's a good fucking thing, because if the elves won't fight for you guys, Nilfgaard ain't shit, because we basically killed a lot of their men in Sodden.
Yeah.
You know, all of that shit. He's like, yeah, we accept you back. But then he makes a fucking mistake.
Yes. Basically tries to say, you got to be put in your place type of thing, you know. And of course, that just struck a bad nerve with her, and even me watching it, I'm like, ugh, like, why did you do that? You know, like, come on. Like, you know what she's doing over there. You know the power she has right now, and then you do that, and you as family and stuff, but now you, ugh.
Yeah, that kind of killed me too. He was like, yeah, you know, you got to know, you know, like, what's just really shitting on her. And I mean, you know, to a certain degree, I get it. But if a motherfucker coming to you, kind of, you know, coming to you basically on her knees type of thing, you know what I'm saying? She's begging her uncle, and she says the same shit that Francesca said to him. We're blood. You know what I'm saying? Right. Blood is blood. You know what I'm saying? Fuck everybody else, uncle. Right. We're blood.
I didn't come to you as a mage. I came to you as family.
And he's just like, nah. I mean, he accepts her back, but he's like, nah.
But then, yeah, basically just tries to put her in her place. Like, wow.
And
so
then
she's like, nah, fuck this.
And she portals back, and she happens to portal back during the general dinner scene.
Now this is my favorite scene.
Happy New Year. tell
of
it,
the season.
Tell it, you know. Oh my
God. Basically, she poured it back to Cintra during the dinner, and Kahir and the men are like in there talking shit, even about Frangilla.
Exactly.
You know, and next thing you know, they don't move. They're not moving.
They're just frozen.
They're not moving. They're frozen. And next thing Frangilla walks in and basically put a spell on them. They're all paralyzed. They could still hear and see and feel, but they're paralyzed.
Yeah, because that general was talking mad shit. He was like, yeah, I'm so glad when Amir gets here, she's going to be dead by tomorrow. I can't wait.
Exactly.
And all of a sudden, you know, I think he was trying to eat something and it just froze. I was just like... And I see Kamir freezing. Kamir's looking with those eyes.
Right.
And like, he's up.
I'm like, oh, shit.
And Frangilla just gives this...
I'm like, I watch him do it, Frangilla. Do it. Do it.
She just gives this big-ass speech about, you know what I'm saying? Oh, you know, I did forget some of the things that I was taught at Aretusa, you know, with Tessia there and shit.
Right.
And she just proceeds to kill everybody.
Starting with the general.
The general's talking shit, and she kills him by getting that putting it through his eye.
Oh, that was like, all slow and shit. Just putting it in there.
And then she finally gets to Kahir, and she's like, I want you to basically be like, I had no choice.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? They were plotting against me. They were going to kill me.
Exactly.
And and she lets him live. And at this point, I was like, kill his ass too. Fuck this motherfucker.
I was I didn't want to. I wanted to be her little bitch now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
put that fear in his ass.
Yes, and at this point, what we find out later in Sintra is that, and it does kind of connect to the other story, Jared and Siri's story, but the bottom line is, unfortunately, Francesca wakes up and the baby, her baby is in Francesca.
Right, she dreams of the baby of dying.
Yes.
She dreams of it first and then wakes up from the dream. First she's relieved that it's a dream and then realizes Phil Evangelo's over there holding the dead baby.
To be honest, I honestly thought it was an entire dream. I didn't realize the baby was dead till the next episode. I thought it was an entire dream. And because I was just like, why would they do that?
I was like, Frangilla did it. That's my first earth. I'm like, no, Frangilla was that. She was that mad. Oh my God.
And you know what? I will. Obviously, we'll talk about the next episode because I'm up to date with you now. We know the whole season. And it's interesting the way that they went with that. But yeah, and at this point, Francesca is out for blood. She says, let's leave tonight. And not only that, she's also talking with Dara because Dara admits to them that he was a spy, but now he is down for the cause and everything. And Francesca, she's not even mad. She's more, she's dead. She's basically devastated.
Isn't that the next episode?
Huh?
Isn't that the next episode?
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, retract that. Okay, my bad. I mean, you know what I'm saying. I thought it was, but you may be absolutely right.
Yeah.
But they do escape in the night.
But that's what they do.
That's what
the
they
last
do.
you see of them.
After the baby dies,
right?
They do leave.
She gets her little group of elves and leave.
Yes. And the only thing I have to ask you, was that it for the Sintra story as far as that was concerned?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I do want to touch on, I guess you can say, two other stories. The one story is between Lydia and I'm just gonna.
Rhea.
I remember. I was just about to say Rias. I was, we had like 5 different names last episode. So he's waiting and he didn't have Siri.
Right. So she's disappointed.
Exactly.
And shit, right. But he's disappointed because he wanted her to bring the boss, whoever's in charge, type of thing.
And I'm assuming he knows how dangerous this mutagen is.
Yes.
And so he says, you know what? Go ahead and test it. Yeah. I'm pretty sure once you test it,
give it a whiff.
He'll be here within 10 minutes.
Right.
And what happens is Lydia, and they even talk about it. It's called like blood something.
Yeah.
She's like, basically I'm assuming what it is looking into the blood and seeing how original it is, you know what I'm saying, where it came from type shit.
Only certain people can handle it.
Exactly. And so what she does is, at first, you think everything is cool. Like, she puts some on her hand, she's wiping it like lotion, and then she puts it on her face, and then she screams in agony.
Burns the hell out of her.
And then you see Rias over there with kind of like a grin, just looking at her. I was just like, damn, she's fucking dead? So I do want to mention that little side story.
Yeah, that's all that happens with that.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about Aretusa before we go into Gerald's story?
Yeah.
Okay, so another bombshell, just like fucking Francesca and Felivendrio. Apparently Vigafort and Tasaya is fucking.
Well, yeah, right. They're fucking, and apparently Vigafort is now the new leader of the Brotherhood.
Exactly. So their plan definitely worked.
Right.
They are running the show, Dijkstra. Because when I first saw his name, I was like, Dijkstra. Dijkstra. Like, like WWE, I forget the fucking wrestler's name, but I thought, but it's Dijkstra. He comes to Aretusa and he wants to mention, he's spreading information.
He tells of basically the elven child.
Yeah, and Stragabor's just like, what, a baby, an elven baby, but Tasaya is like,
Tasaya's all pissed off.
What did you come here for?
That only you guys would see a baby as a threat.
Exactly.
Like, come on.
Thing like, well, again, Renfrey back in episode 1, she was more than a baby, but you know what I mean. Okay. But then again, when he took her, she was young.
Yes.
So Stragobor is just a bitch.
He's a bitch. I just can't wait for him. Something happened to him.
Yeah,
he's been a bitch from the episode 1.
He's the guy in the mafia movie that wipes out the whole family.
Right. He's the one like behind everything. It seems like, you know what I mean?
And basically, she challenges Dijkstra. She's just like, why did you come here? And he's just like, Varys in Game of Thrones, like, I'm the master, I'm intel. That's what I basically am. And not only am I intel, I happen to know.
Isn't Triss back?
Triss back.
Did you tell everybody? Let everybody know? And they're just looking at her and like, what
the fuck? And she's like, yeah, Triss is back. She wasn't feeling good on her latest mission, so she came back to rest. And then he just disappears, Dijkstra. And I will say, I thought he was like the leader of the army. But to just know all his job is to spread rumors, you got this big ass dude looking like he should be
he's the mage.
Like,
he's the mage of that kingdom.
Oh, he's a mage?
Yes. That's why he's meeting with him.
Oh, okay. I didn't know he was a mage. Yeah. I just thought he was, from what I heard, he was just the intel guy.
So he's that king's mage.
Okay. Cool.
That's the only reason why he's even allowed to be with the other mages. Tasaya stuff. That's you know what I mean? You know what I mean? That's why he disappeared. You know what I mean? Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah. I didn't even know because, I don't do a lot of fucking research of The Witcher, but when I read it, it was just like, oh, he's the king's intelligence guy. Okay. And he even has a scene with the king. Yeah. And the king makes him know, like, motherfucker, you expendable too. Right. I hope you know what you're doing.
Let me look at it. Maybe I'm wrong. I think maybe I just assumed that he was
I don't, because, I don't know.
Every kingdom has a mage.
Yeah, but I do think the mage may be the person in episode 8. The owl. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
But
I don't know.
No, because the mage reports to the king. And the king might not even know about this owl, only Dijkstra does.
Yeah, okay, so
you know what I mean?
You know what? Maybe for episode 8, I'll do some extra digging and figure out who the fuck is who.
I assumed that he was. You assumed he wasn't. Maybe I just thought, because like I said, for him to be meeting with them. You know what I mean? At Aretusa.
Yeah.
Like, why would they just allow an intel guy into Aretusa?
That is true.
You know what I mean?
I even said, like, for an intel guy, he's like
that's what I was
big
saying.
as hell. Like, he's killing. Like, when the first he's introduced, I feel like all the intel.
Mousesack was kind of an intel guy.
Yeah.
So that's why I took.
Oh, okay. We'll get it straightened out in episode 8. Happy New Year.
Oh yeah.
And. Before Dijkstra and the king is talking, he's setting him straight. But basically, he said, we don't even have to go back to this. He's basically setting his ass straight. He's like, I hope you're right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because, and it's King Vismore. I fucking wrote that shit down. Let me look at the notes. I believe it is King Vismore. Don't butcher us because these names are horrible. But anyways, he lets him know that, hey, I hope you're right. I hope you are absolutely right about everything that we're doing. But we do have to go back to Aretusa for one more moment, and that's because
Visamir.
That's what.
That's his name.
Visamir. Yeah.
I just found it on my notes.
Good shit. It's so funny. Patty was like, "Oh, my nephews wanted to know." Patty's my wife. My nephews wanted to know what podcast you guys have. They want to follow and listen to it. And I was like, I'll tell you, but this is adult. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, and sometimes me and Ito be like, man, she's fine. Ito be like, yeah, I'd fuck her. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, giddy. All right. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, I don't know if it's appropriate, but Vesemir, I'm sorry, not Vesemir, but Tasaya talks to Triss and she wants to know more details. She's talking to Triss about who she's told about this situation. Triss says, I've only told you and the Witchers know.
Exactly.
And then
even Tasaya told her about when she saw Geralt and Ciri, but didn't even know who they were, though.
Even know who, and that's interesting because she's, kind of powerful. You would think she was sincere.
After a battle week, all that,
exactly.
you know what I mean?
Devastated because
devastated.
Yennefer is dead.
Right.
You're absolutely right about that. Yeah. And so all of a sudden, Vigor's ass busts in like he's, obviously he's the leader, but he busts in like he's the king.
Right.
And he is basically
demanding Triss to tell him everything. And Triss is like, you told him, to Tasaya.
He's like, this could make peace. Red flag. Like, I don't give a fuck what nobody say unless it's a situation where it is going to be peace, and if something happen, nukes all over the world type shit. Right. But when a motherfucker just automatically say, nah, dude, you gonna use her as a weapon. You know what I'm saying? You basically threatening everybody else. And he demands Triss tell him about. She walks out. She's disgusted that Tasaya even said shit.
Exactly.
And Tasaya's looking at Vigor it's like, I know you my boo now.
Like, what the fuck? Trust me,
Exactly. And he gives her the same shit.
Yeah, he snaps on her and shit, and she just walks out on his ass.
And all I'm saying is, I still don't trust this motherfucker.
Exactly. Remember, he bashed one of his own guys in.
And when Yennefer was in that tunnel, he was talking to. I don't know if he was talking to Cahir, because she eventually walks in the same place, and there is Cahir there in prison.
Yeah.
Or was he talking to somebody fucking else?
Right.
So he is on some shit. I would definitely agree with you there. And I believe their story is concluded from there. Is it? Yes. So now we got to get into the beef and the betrayal and some fucked up ass shit. Let's get into Ciri and Geralt.
At the end of the last episode is when Yennefer and Ciri go into the portal.
Yep.
So basically,
it ended like a Power Rangers episode. To be continued. He's like, what the fuck?
Where they basically where they go to is that cabin that Ciri was taken to.
Yes, near Sudden.
Exactly, near Sintra.
Oh, near Sintra.
Outside of Sintra, where the war was. And
it's dark as hell.
It's dark. He's like, she recognized it, and I guess that was just somewhere she felt safe for a while, so that's why I took her. That's what she said, I believe. And then found the family dead. Yeah.
Now, we don't necessarily know who killed them. There's some bets placed on Rias. There's some bets placed on Nilfgaard at this point. We honestly don't know. Yeah. But what Yennefer decides to do, she decides to say that basically it was probably Rias, and Geralt probably was there, and that they probably captured Geralt, and what would be the place that they would take him? That would be Sintra.
Exactly.
And
that's where Yennefer wants to take her, basically, because that's how she gets to the cabin, or the hut, whatever. Yeah. With the witch, whatever.
And again, I'm just thinking like Yennefer, she's not gonna go through with this. She's not going to.
Yeah, I'm just like,
I'm holding out hope like she's gonna come to her senses, but they go.
Yes.
And what's so funny is Ciri says he's like a father to me. And at that point, I was like, best episode of the fucking. You know what I'm saying? The emotion that Ciri had going, like, even Yennefer, when they were on their horses, she's like, what good is a horse if it's dead tomorrow? Like, you need to slow the fuck down.
Exactly.
Like you know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure it wasn't. It was the previous episode that she was like, "You're in love with him." Did she say that in this episode when she was like, "Oh, you were in love with him"?
Yeah,
just like me.
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Oh," but she said father, so I guess I'll you know what I'm saying?
Maybe not in love, maybe you said love him.
You love him like I do, basically.
Right.
And they head there, and then they approach this bridge that has gotten destroyed.
Yeah, a destroyed bridge, basically. And then Yennefer basically says, "You got the power. Just test it out."
And at first, Yennefer is telling her these elven words, and she is lifting the bridge up, right? Like the bridge, and you
it
can
starts
see
to
it's like
move. It wants to.
It's even levitating, but it's a half-ass bridge. Just like how they. I was even thinking, like, how are they? Are they just gonna step and it's gonna support them? That's what I honestly thought it was gonna be, but. As you say, her eyes start to bleed.
They start to bleed and all that.
Like, no,
stop.
She's getting
too
frustrated
much.
and pissed off, and she screams like she's Rogue from X-Men, and then boom,
they're on the other side.
They're on the other side. And the only shit I gotta say about this is the horses.
The horses, right? I did the same. Like, wait,
it was funny because they tried to play it off because they moved the camera to the left to show you that the horses were there. I was like, oh, y'all ain't shit, but I'll accept it. This is a great episode.
That's what I swear. That's the one thing I questioned too.
Oh man, happy new year. I see you're out.
Finish.
I know. But go ahead and get another one, and I'll go in as Ito gets another as Ito gets another beer. Sorry, the shot.
Another Zyweek.
Yeah, Zyweek. They're heading towards, and this is another confusion moment for me. I have to admit, Ito, I'm not gonna lie.
What's that?
Oh, here's your Thor. By the way, he has this Thor keychain. It's not a Thor keychain, but it's the hammer. I forget the fucking hammer's called, but yeah, he has that, and it's actually pretty cool. But as they're going towards Sintra, the Deathless Mother, what's her name again? Valor Marie.
It is Boleth Mir.
Oh shit. A Boleth Mir. She speaks to Yennefer and she says, "Bitch, I'm done playing these games." Because I'm wondering to myself, like, why the fuck is she going to Sintra? Like, I was wondering that. I'm like, why the fuck is Yennefer going to Sintra? Like, what the fuck is in Sintra? I thought she was going to lead her to the fucking woods or some shit.
Right.
And then she says something about the door being open. They're outside of Sintra. They're off the horses. And they touch. Now, here's my thing. And then here's what I found out.
Okay. Go ahead.
My thing was, I thought they just touched and they talked telepathically and she read her thoughts.
Right.
And she was just like, "Hey, you know what you're doing is fucked up, right?" And it was like, "Yeah, but if you're scared, turn back." And she was just like, "Yeah, but what you really doing? Like, why you doing this? This is fucked up." And then they snapped out of it and she was just like, "Damn, you played me." But apparently, when the Deathless Mother was talking to Yennefer and telling her to open the door, she was opening the door to the cabin to be transported.
Right.
Had no fucking clue when I was watching.
Yeah.
I'm just
really?
gonna be honest. No, it happened so fast, and I was a little confused, and I didn't want to start it. Like, when I watch it twice.
Yeah.
I watch it once, review, and then watch it twice and see what I missed.
Okay.
So, you know what I'm saying? I didn't want to stop it. I was just like, oh, okay. But yeah, so that's what happened.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. I kind of knew when that happened that they were at that doorway to take them to the hut, and basically that's when Yennefer realized that she fucked up.
Yeah.
Because after the whole transfer over the bridge or portal over the bridge thing, even she Siri apologized and Jennifer was like, don't ever apologize for having that kind of power.
Yeah, because her
You know what I
is
mean?
power hungry.
And she realized that she's fucked up. So she's telling her, you know what?
And she was even telling her to promise her something. I forget the specific line. She's like, if something happens and we get split up, promise me that you will. It was some along the lines of you won't ever feel bad because of your powers type shit. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, it's a fucked up situation at this point. See, Siri doesn't trust Yennefer. Yennefer tries to explain, yes, I thought I was doing, I didn't know you. I didn't know who you were. And even when I found out who you were, I thought I was doing the right thing for me. But I fucked up.
Right.
But trust me now. We gotta get going.
Right.
But Siri doesn't. And does she scream? Is it the scream that causes the crack? Or was she just frustrated and pissed off and that causes the crack? I don't remember. Something causes the crack that splits between them.
Exactly,
and then it affects Centra to the point where it splits wherever it is in the castle near Centra, and then they come out. They send fucking guards out there. But when it split, I thought it was going to be one of those Kahir things where it was just going to split way open.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? Siri is just going to bounce.
On one side, right.
You know what I'm saying? Because Yennefer did admit to Siri that Geralt isn't there. Garrett isn't there. Type shit.
Exactly.
But as the split happens and she's trying to talk to Siri, she's trying to tell Siri that now she's on her side, the Nilfgaards get there. And before we get to this, we have to talk about Geralt.
Exactly. So Nenneke basically teleports Geralt after they have a conversation to Jaskier. And he ends up saving Jaskier out of jail.
Yeah, it's a nice reunion.
Nice little reunion. They hug, even though Jaskier is like, you still a bitch. You know what I mean? Type of thing. Geralt's like,
and he gets a bath. It's funny what a bath is back in the day.
Yes, exactly.
Like, nigga, you didn't take off your pants.
So basically, Jaskier tells him what happened with Yennefer and all that, and basically tells Geralt that Yennefer has no power.
Yeah,
that's how Geralt finds out. But then he was like, wait a minute. But when she was captured, she portaled. And she said these words. He's like, wait, what words? He said word for what she said. He's like, he recognized instantly. Instantly that was the prayer of the Deathless Mother, Volifmir.
Yep.
So he said the first Witchers trapped her. The first Witchers.
And you can even remember when Vesemir was telling Ciri about the story, they had the dagger that she killed the Witcher. I really need to remember that Witcher's name. He's like the first OG Witcher or some shit.
These names, though.
Yeah, oh my God. Like, even when I often review just to make sure I review YouTubers, and certain YouTubers won't even look at the comments. They'll be like, I'm not looking at the comments because I don't want to hear you motherfucking Witcher fans telling me how I got a name wrong or this.
Exactly.
Peace.
Right.
But yeah, go ahead.
Basically, after what happened? Where we at?
Oh, you're all good. So Geralt and Jaskier goes. They leaves the prison, and then they meet. Oh, I gotta find his name.
Right.
Yarping,
the
that
dwarves.
Is the leader of the dwarves.
They enlist the help. Yeah, they enlist the help of the dwarves. Yeah.
Apparently, they have been the king in the area. Or the Lord. I do believe it's the king, though. They basically been helping Cargo go through the path. Basically, the path that they patrol, they live outside. That's what they do. So basically, Geralt asks him for a horse, and they're just like, we would tell you to go fuck yourself. They don't say that. They actually say something much more hilarious than that. But basically, that's what they say. But they're like, since you're on the path, we have to honor it.
Right.
They give him a horse. Geralt goes to the horse, and he's just like, basically, you ain't roach.
Right, exactly.
But you'll do. And then the dwarf is just like, so what are you doing? What are you doing? And he's just like, I can't tell you. And they're just like, Yarpin goes, "Hey guys, we're going on an adventure. The secret kind." I love those. I was like, "Hey, I love that guy.
Right?
He's awesome."
Yeah, he's a little badass.
They all go. So you got Jaskier, you got Jerome, and you got Yarpin heading towards. I
go to Sintra.
Yeah, Sintra. I forget how Geralt knew about the whole Sintra thing, but they're basically heading towards Sintra. So we now collide when we were talking about the Nilfgaard
exactly,
guards
because when the crack opened, it sounded the alarm off, so the Nilfgaard guards came.
Yennefer's trying to give him some gold. She's telling Ciri to run. She's really trying to protect her. You know, I don't know if she got like a stick or something.
Right.
Ciri, though, I will give it to her. She was giving it to
right.
her. You know what I'm saying? She wasn't playing. She took, I think she had a knife, but she took a knife.
Yeah.
Oh, she was giving it to him. And then Geralt and Yarpin and his people, they come and they just kill.
They slaughter.
Everybody.
Slaughter.
Yes, and Yarpin goes, because he looks at Ciri and he goes, "Is that your daughter?" And at this point, when Yennefer is trying to come towards him and towards them to explain herself, Geralt
puts a sword to her
throat. And Yarpin is like, "Who is she? Who is this girl? Who is she? Who is this girl?" And he goes, he looks at him. No way, he looks at Yennefer first, and he goes, "Mine." Like, and that's like fucking powerful.
Right.
Witchers, like, you know what I'm saying? These no emotion ass motherfuckers. Like, that was so powerful. He looks at Yennefer dead in her face, and he goes, "Mine." And then he looks at Yarpin and he goes, "She's mine." Because I think Yarpin is his sister or daughter or some type of shit.
Right.
And they reunite, basically. Yennefer is definitely trying to explain herself. By this time, Geralt knows everything.
Just shut the fuck up.
And yeah, basically, and he even tells Jaskier, he's like, "You, Ciri,
take Ciri,
dwarves,
boom,
bounce.
Right.
You guys go." Ciri's pissed off, and she's just like, "What?" And he's like, "I'm gonna go kill a monster. Go back to Kaer Morhen." So next thing we know, I'm like, "Oh, he's." My whole thing was, do you know what this Deathless Mother did to yo? I'm like, you make it seem like this is about to be easy.
Well, I mean, that's just his that's fucking growth. Like, that's his thing. He's like, he's got a mission now.
To the up team.
Yes.
At this point, he tells Yennefer to say the word.
The prayer.
But this time, they don't appear inside the cabin. They appear outside the cabin with the doors open.
So they realized she escaped.
Yes,
apparently she got powerful enough in the word there.
Yeah, and of suffer and pain, basically.
Exactly.
And she, like a symbiote from Spider-Man, basically takes over Ciri. It looks like she goes into Ciri.
Yeah,
at
she
the end
possesses
of the episode.
Ciri. Yeah. That's how it ends.
Yeah. And that's pretty much the episode. Now, the only other thing I want to talk to you about is something that just clicked in my head. And I could be way the fuck off because I don't fucking know. Okay. Queen Calinthi's mother was Fiona, right? That was the grandmother. And the grandmother even told Pavetta, which is Ciri's mom, that the grandmother had powers.
Right.
That could be a reason why the king never wanted mages to come in. Because if the mages were to come in, they would have recorded to the Brotherhood what had fucking happened.
Yeah.
And when I was thinking about that, I was literally thinking about that shit when I was watching the finale.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, that would make sense of why Queen Calinthi's father, the king, didn't want mages to come in there because they fucking knew what was going on about all this shit. So that's all I wanted to say. Yeah. I ain't got nothing else but that. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but that shit, I was just like, puzzle. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am Melvin Banks.
This is Ito.
And we are
The Carbonation Conversation.
We will be seeing you very soon for the finale, episode 8 of season 2. I don't know the name of it, so definitely subscribe, like, comment, follow us on Google, Apple, Podbean, etc., etc. We love you.
See.